I'll see you in court. Maine's governor pushed back on President Trump to his face today over Trump's executive order banning trans women and girls from competing in women's sports. Here's the moment.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
This all went down this morning at the White House during the regular meeting of all the nation's governors. And that exchange between the president and the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, happened right as Trump was wrapping up his hour-long remarks to the group. Now, I bring this exchange up for a few reasons. One, we don't normally see governors or any political officials go back and forth like that with President Trump. They usually, if they do it, push back on him through the media. Now, they may do this to him in private, but so far in this second Trump term, this is the first time we are seeing it happen in person, in full public view. The other reason why I'm sharing this with you is because of this tactic that President Trump has been using. He did it in his first term. It's not new. And we've heard him do it this term too, threatening to withhold federal funds from a state that doesn't comply with him and his executive orders. Most recently, we heard him threaten this very same thing to California's Governor Gavin Newsom during the LA wildfires. And the reality is it's not entirely clear that he can even follow through with that threat, at least not legally. Why? Well, because of what I've been reporting on this page for years. The Constitution of the United States squarely puts the power of the purse in the hands of Congress, not the president. It's up to Congress to decide how federal money is spent. That's why we're seeing so many lawsuits against all that President Trump and Elon Musk's Doge team are doing to try and cut federal spending without any authorization from Congress. Trump is winning some of those cases, but he's definitely losing some of them too. And on top of that, separation of powers constitutional argument, the states are also invoking their 10th Amendment rights. Now, if you aren't familiar, the 10th Amendment really puts a hard limit on the powers of the federal government, saying that the only authority that the federal government has is listed in the Constitution, and any powers not granted to the federal government specifically in the Constitution are squarely given to the states and their people. Not to mention there are countless federal laws on the books, including the Impoundment Act, that compels the president to spend the money the way Congress intended. Now, yes, of course, multiple states have sued over this specific Trump executive order about trans athletes, but the reality is this is a much bigger conversation about executive power. Trump and his team are obviously trying to expand the power of the executive branch, like most new administrations do. And in the end, this is going to likely end up coming down to the Supreme Court and what they say over whether or not Trump can do what he intends in expanding the power of the executive branch.